Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. A lot to talk about today. But first up, make sure to follow on social media Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are all over the place. Make sure to follow wherever you are, wherever you prefer to be. Make sure to follow Everything Arsenal on there. But a lot to talk about in terms of transfers. Obviously, yesterday we were here crying tears about Timber getting injured, but obviously we have to start looking for replacements. So first up, though, we have to start talking about our new signing, our latest signing, David Raya, who has just been announced today. I mean, he already trained with Arsenal, so Arsenal is literally the only team that can announce a player. Like literally, after he's already had like 2 or 3 training sessions with the team, he's already gotten to know everyone, and then we decide to announce. But hey, no problem. We already knew he was already an Arsenal player. I think he watched the Man City game at Wembley, and he also watched the Nottingham Forest game at the Emirates Stadium. But welcome to Arsenal, David Raya. This is what he had to say about joining Arsenal on Champions League. By they're playing in the Champions League, he said that is one of the aims and the dream to play in the highest level possible. I haven't played in Europe yet, so hopefully we can achieve big things in the Champions League this season. He also said, I can't wait to be out there training with the lads and getting that goalkeeper union going. I really hope they get along as well and push each other. Both of them, I hope they push each other. Obviously, first choice and second choice goalkeepers, it's usually like the second choice goalkeeper knows is the second choice goalkeeper. But this one, both of them will be fighting for the first choice goalkeeper. So hopefully they still do support each other whenever they make saves and all that training stuff and all that, because we need both of them at the top of their game if we're going to succeed this season. So Raya said something about waiting to train with the team. He's already trained with the team 3 times. That's a tight group that we are always going to get along and push each other. I really hope so. So that's going to be a healthy group. I just can't wait to get going and to meet the lads. David Raya also said on reuniting with his goalkeeping coach from Brentford. He's very demanding, but he's a very good goalie coach. He's always on to you, but he always only wants you to be the best. So credit to him. In the space of 6 months, he changed my vision. So really, really good signing. We're only getting him on a 3 million loan deal until the end of the season. But after that, we can sign him if we want. If he does well, we can sign him. But I think if he reaches a couple of maybe appearances and all that, or if you win a trophy or something like that, we have to buy him. But if you don't reach those, like what's the word? Like basically there's a couple of things that are in the contract that if he actually attains them at Arsenal, we have to sign him. But if he doesn't attain them, we don't really have to sign him. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to turn out to be a very good goalkeeper, and us fans and the Arsenal team themselves would want to sign him on a permanent deal. So I think that is a very good signing for us, and it's going to be competition for Ramsdale now. Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup is going to be very interesting to see how both of them are going to be used. He's also going to be wearing the number 22 shirt. I already like him. I've had his interview and also a few of his quick questions, Q&A questions on Twitter on Arsenal's account, and it looks like a very genuine person. He's very comfortable in terms of speaking English. He can speak 3 languages, so I think that can only help us. Also, Edu had to say this about him. We welcome David to us on a season-long loan from Brentford. David is a top-quality goalkeeper who has consistently performed to a high level with Brentford in the Premier League. With David joining us, we are adding quality and depth to our squad. So good signing. Cannot wait for him to get started. No idea when he's going to make his debut. I don't think any of us can predict that. Is it going to be against Crystal Palace next week? Is it going to be in the Champions League in like 3 weeks? By the way, I cannot wait for us to be back in the Champions League playing, man. Like, yes, it's reality. Since we qualified like 4 or 5 months back, but right now, like we've never been there in a long time. Like since like 2018, it's been more than 5 years since in the Champions League. So I cannot wait for us to get back into that competition. So welcome to Arsenal, David Raya. But it might not have been a loan deal, by the way. It looks like Brentford actually wanted a player from Arsenal who, according to reports, during negotiations for David Raya, Brentford asked Arsenal about the possibility of signing Nketiah this summer. The two clubs have a good working relationship, but Arsenal will stand firm on their 35 million to 40 million asking price. So I think Brentford are trying to find a way to try and get Nketiah in that deal as well. Maybe as we get Raya permanently and they get Nketiah maybe in a swap deal. But I think Arsenal want to sell him for like 35, 40 million. I don't think Arsenal want to sell him, but they are open slightly. Like if someone comes with like 40 million, we could sell him. But right now, though, I know many people know that we can improve on Edin Nketiah for sure. But at the moment, right now, with Jesus injured, are you really going to sell Nketiah unless you have a huge plan of bringing in a striker? I don't think so. As of now, I wouldn't really sell him. I'll just keep him in the team because Jesus is injured and you don't really have any other strikers. So those Carabao Cup, FA Cup games also can come in clutch for us. And in the Premier League, if he plays, he does score. Yes, he does miss chances, but he does score as well. If you play him every single game, I still believe he's going to get like 15 plus goals. So I don't think right now we are interested in selling him unless someone comes like 50 million and we are like, okay, that's good money. And you're going to get this striker and that striker. But at the moment, there's not too many strikers who are available out there, like realistic strikers. Even the likes of Osimhen, I don't even think they're available. I think Napoli would want to keep him and stuff, and you'd have to pay like 150 million, which is impossible at the moment. The likes of Watkins, Aston Villa would never sell them. So unless you have your eye on a different kind of striker that we don't know about, I don't know. I don't feel like there's too many strikers out there. So at the moment, the situation we are in and trying to sort out other things, I think Nketiah has to stay. So, and he also played really well against in the last preseason game at the Emirates Cup against Monaco, and also the last game against Nottingham Forest. But he's not the only striker who's been linked to moves away this summer transfer window. Balogun has two. So what's the latest on him? According to reports, understand AS Monaco are in pole position to sign Folarin Balogun from Arsenal. West Ham are also interested in the striker. Inter were keen but are unable to pay the fee demanded. So AS Monaco, this is according to the Secret Scout. AS Monaco are looking to finalize this deal. They have to pay the money. They're not getting him on the cheap. You have to pay the money. 45 million at least. That is the minimum that you have to pay to get Balogun. We are not going to sell him for like 20, 25 million. Right now, we are kind of struggling to sell players because no one wants to pay the money for the players who are trying to sign. Others are trying to get these players on loan with no obligation to buy. Others are trying to, get the contracts cancelled and all that. But no, Balogun was a top striker in France last season, was competing with the likes of Mbappe and Lacazette over there in terms of top scorer. So he's a capable striker, so you have to pay. Like he's already, if it's Monaco especially, he's already proven himself over there in France. So for Monaco getting him, we can tell them, hey, listen, he's already proved himself in that league. He'll be getting you 20 plus goals. You have to pay the money. So let's see how that one develops. But I want it to be done quickly. Like I don't like talking about players who are going to leave every single day. Let's just get it done and focus on other stuff. But then again, if no team wants to pay the money, we can wait until even deadline day. Let's see how that one goes. So that's the latest on the strikers, adding Nketiah, Balogun, and also a new goalkeeper, David Raya. Now, trying to focus on the defense because we have a problem with the defense at the moment with injuries and players about to leave. And one of them is Gabriel Maghalaes. What? Gabriel Maghalaes to leave? Surely not. Surely not. According to reports, the latest reports from Ryan Taylor Sport, Gabriel Maghalaes is being lined up for a big money move to Saudi Arabia. These Saudi guys, man. Although Arsenal currently have no plans to sell the player despite his surprise omission against Nottingham Forest. So no, man, he is not going anywhere. We had rumors on Friday night that Gabriel picked up a knock and he wouldn't start against Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Number two, it could also be the way we were trying to obviously field Partey and Rice in the same team as well, and obviously go attacking and field Havertz and Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli and Nketiah. So someone kind of had to be dropped. Either we would have left Partey or Rice on the bench, or someone like it had to be someone to allow us to have both Havertz and Nketiah up front together with Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. So it turned out to be Gabriel. I was very surprised that Gabriel was on the bench. He's always starting for us. Last season he played 38 games. Some rumors are coming out that maybe that is why he was left on the bench because Saudi Arabia looking at him, but surely not, especially Timber picking up an injury. There's no way Gabriel can leave. Like if Gabriel leaves right now, all of a sudden you're trying to look for 2 or 3 defenders once again. He's been here since 2020 and I think he's done very, very well for us. He's a definite starter for Arsenal. So Gabriel is not for sale. Unless you're coming to pay 100 million, he is not for sale. Like literally they'll give us even 50, 60 million right now. And I'd say no, like Gabriel, like he understands the team. He's very good from at playing from the back. His relationship with the likes of Saliba very good. Like if you sell Gabriel right now, where do you start once again? Like it would be very tough to start once again looking for another center back already, and you're already trying to get another fullback who can potentially play as a center back. It's too much. So Gabriel for me not for sale. However, even if you pay 60 million, no. Thank you. So the fullback situation. What's the latest on that? According to Ryan Taylor Sport, once again, Arsenal are prepared to add another left-sided defender to their ranks before the September 1st transfer deadline. There is a chance they could turn to a cost-effective alternative such as Leicester's Timothy Castagne. We were linked to him like 2 months back, or Southampton's Kyle Walker Peters. Now, those names will probably not amuse people in that's a Southampton player and a Leicester player that were relegated last season. And that is what I was like, someone said the positive is Timber getting injured right now. We can at least go back to the market. I know, but like, can you really get someone like a Timber? That is the problem. Like, we've been looking at him for a couple of months, and this is the guy that is already fit into the team. Like, again, going for other targets right now, it's already like two months into the transfer window. Many of the best players have already been picked by other teams already. Now you're basically going for the ones who are left. Especially defensively, a lot of players have switched teams, the likes of Vardiol and Timber and all those guys. So you're basically having to look for the ones who are left in the market. Basically, everyone has taken all the good oranges and all the good apples, that you're left with the ones that are remaining. I mean, not saying that Cassani and Kyle Walker-Peters might join Arsenal, become terrible. No, they obviously might come to Arsenal and become very good. But the way Timber was playing, it's a huge blow. But let's see what happens to that fullback situation. Are we going to get, there's 3-4 different ways you could go. You could get a left back who can also play as a center back. We could get a left back who can also play in midfield. We could potentially get a midfielder who can also go play in defense. Like, it's different ways, man, different ways. But that's the latest from Ryan Taylor Sport. Could that fullback be Cancelo as well? Now, that would be definitely exciting. That if getting Cancelo, that would be 100% exciting. Like, that would be just a crazy buy. Like, that would be literally a very, very crazy buy. Let's see what the latest is on Cancelo, according to Sammy Mockbell. Arsenal are currently focused on outgoings with Kieran Tierney among the players set to leave. The expectation, despite Julian Timber's injury, is for Tierney to be sold provided the club receive a suitable fee. Arsenal would look to replace Tierney if he were to leave, particularly given Timber's injury with Manchester City's Joao Cancelo a known target. Like, I remember at the beginning of the transfer, in the very beginning, I said the 2-3 players I want are Cancelo and also Declan Rice. Like, that is what I wanted. Like, if you had to ask me to choose that time, if you go back to the videos I did in June, I said, if you had to ask me to pick 2 players that had signed fast between Caicedo and Rice and Cancelo and all those guys, I said I'd get Rice and Cancelo. Those would have been my 2 first options. Like, that was even before, like, we knew you're going to be linked to players like Timber. Because Cancelo is basically the one who almost like created this kind of inverted fullback position. Like, he's very good at it. He can play right back, left back without any problems. He regularly gets assists and goals. Like 2 seasons ago for Man City, he was getting goals and assists every single time, Champions League and League. So he's very good at that. The only problem is Man City. Will Man City sell us another player though? Like, they know, like, we are like their main challengers right now. And they've already given us Jesus and Zinchenko. Would they really be happy to give us yet another player? I'm not quite sure. So that becomes a problem. But if they actually agree and tell us, hey, you can have Cancelo, it depends. Would you take him on loan? Like, if they would offer us on loan, I'd definitely take him. Like, I think Cancelo would make a difference. The only thing he'd not be able to play against Man City if he comes to us on loan. But he would be a very good signing. But Barcelona are currently looking at him. It looks very likely that he could join Barcelona unless he decides he wants to stay in the Premier League. Unless he decides he wants to go to a different country, I think it's literally up to him. And also Man City. But also money, if he was to be purchased, it's like 70 million again. I'm not sure Arsenal is going to be spending that kind of money on buying another player once again. I think we've already spent the bulk of our budget this transfer window. And we have to sell players fast. Unless we get like 60, 70 million from selling players, the likes of Balogun and the likes of Kieran Tierney, then maybe we could. Speaking of Kieran Tierney, what's the latest on Kieran Tierney? According to Luke Edwards of the Telegraph, Arsenal are thought to be very keen to find a move for Kieran Tierney. They would prefer to sell the player at this stage, but a compromise could be reached that would defer for another 12 months, the fee for another 12 months, which would help Newcastle navigate their way through FFP concerns. Given the nature of the deal, it could be that it has to wait closer to deadline day. So Newcastle wants Kieran Tierney. I'm also not sure about selling Kieran Tierney to Newcastle. They're very good. And if you give them another left back like this, that would be absolutely amazing. And you could argue they're also challengers in terms of top 3, top 4 over there as well. So basically rivals. But then again, if they're the only team that can pay that money, what do we do? But at the moment, it doesn't look like Newcastle do want him. They want Cucurella as well from Chelsea. Let's see what happens to that. It's not only Newcastle that want him. These guys want him as well. West Ham could make a move for Kieran Tierney, according to ex-West Ham employee who was very accurate in terms of his reportings on Declan Rice to Arsenal. So he has a lot of connections at West Ham. But for West Ham, if you want Kieran Tierney, it is 70 million plus add-ons. Never forget the add-ons. 10 million, 50 million in add-ons, and the 70 million to be paid across 2 installments maximum. Yes, that is what he has to do for if he's going to West Ham, what they have to do. But any other team, 40 million or 35 million, 40 million to get Kieran Tierney. He's very good left back. It's just because he doesn't fit into our system. He's still a very good left back and he's still very young, 26 years of age. He can still play a lot of years. He can play in the top level as well. And he's one of the nicest people in the world as well. So let's see what happens with Kieran Tierney. What about the other players, including Kieran Tierney, according to Sports Beats? Arsenal will sanction an exodus of fringe players in the coming weeks as they look to find a final summer signing. Sources have told Football Insider Kieran Tierney, Rob Holding, Nicolas Pepe, and Nuno Tavares are the most likely candidates in leaving, with the club keen to sign another attacking player before the next month's deadline. I don't think it's just only these four. I mean, what happens to Lokonga as well? What happens to Cedric as well? I think there's a lot. I think what happens to Balogun as well? Maybe they're not being included in the fringe players list, but Kieran Tierney should not again be included in the fringe players list. But if you get rid of Tierney and also Holding and Timber is injured, like how many defenders will we have remain? Like for sure you're going to sign a defender. So the club is keen on getting another attacking player in before next month's deadline. We could also get another defensive player, but those players are likely to leave, also the ones that I've mentioned. And in terms of, let's start with Nuno Tavares, who is also another fullback. What's the latest on him? According to reports on Tavares from Kieran, whether Werder Bremen and Wolfsburg have made approaches for Arsenal left back Nuno Tavares. Football London understands. However, the player would prefer to stay in England to play in the Premier League. So unless an English team wants him, I don't know what is going to happen with that one. I don't think it's going to remain at Arsenal unless things change and he's absolutely adapted that. Because I feel like Tavares is almost like Tierney. So if you're going to keep that kind of a left back, you rather keep Tierney unless he wants to go. But for Tavares, I really doubt he's going to be an Arsenal player next season. It would be a shock if he's still here and he ends up being like our backup or something. But yes, we have a lot of talking and a lot of movements and a lot of deals to get done in terms of fullbacks and defenders, and Tavares is one of them. And he's not even done with defenders. According to John Cross Mirror, Cancelo is not the only player we want from Man City. According to him, Ghana's boss Mikel Arteta would also be interested in Aymeric Laporte, who he worked with at Manchester City. Arsenal admire Gay as well. So Laporte is also another option. I do like Laporte. Like going forward is like Gabriel. He scores a lot of goals, get himself into really good positions, and he's also another left back who can play. He's a centre back who can play as a left back as well, very comfortably. Another player who's very flexible and durable and all that. So it would be a good signing as well. But then again, with Man City given to us, that's the other problem. Man City right now, they are the likes of Ake and the likes of Diaz and the likes of obviously Gvardiol. They have Stones playing as well. They have Walker. So Laporte is not fast choice at all. They even have the likes of Lewis. So if they would agree to sell him to Arsenal, why not? But will Man City really sell a player to Arsenal? You have to wait and see. That is it for the defense. A lot to talk about there. Tierney, Tavares, Cancelo, Laporte, obviously Gabriel as well. Another one got injured in G and Timber. That is a huge blow. But what's the latest on Nicolas Pepe, the forward positions? According to Fabrice Hawkins, breaking, Nicolas Pepe and Besiktas have agreed a 3-year contract. Arsenal now have a decision to make: terminate his contract or negotiate to let him join the Turkish club. Like, come on, you can pay at least 10 million. You can pay at least 10 million for Nicolas Pepe. Come on, man. We bought him for 72 million. It just hasn't worked out. And obviously the manager who signed him is no longer here. Atta came with his own tactics, came with his own approach. And obviously on top of that, Saka emerged as well. And we realized that, oh my goodness, Saka is 10 times Pepe. Martinelli came to the club as well on that left side. I remember Pepe playing a couple of times on the left side, but this one hasn't worked out. And he went out on loan. We were hoping at least Nice, he performs well at Nice and comes back with a bit of value, maybe sell him back to Nice or sell him to another club, but he didn't do that well. So that is a problem as well, and they didn't want him back. So he's basically his value since he went to Nice has dropped even further. And right now we are talking about cancelling his contract, and doesn't look like he'll be here next season. He has not been on the bench even once. He's not been training with the team even once. So this one is definitely going to be leaving Arsenal. We are hoping at least get 10 million. If you can get 10 million for Pepe, I don't know, 30 million for Tierney, maybe 35 million, 40 million for Balogun. That's already good money, like to try and get other players. That's around 70 million. And you've not talked about Lokonga and Tavares and all those guys. We got a few pounds here and there for Pablo Mari and also Austin Trusty going to Sheffield United. So we've gotten a bit of money here and there. If you can use that to get a forward player and a defender, that would be good. We've now signed 4 players: Havertz, Declan Rice, Timber, and Raya. Unfortunately, Timber is now injured, so we don't know how long he's going to be out for. But it's going to be interesting. I don't think we are done in the transfer window. We are not playing again for the next 6 days. Our next game will be next Monday, so a bit of time to get training and get a few players through the door. 1 or 2, who knows? Let me know what you make about all that. Make sure to follow the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook. Thank you for watching. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.